right, we're recording right now. It doesn't mean the show started, but we're recording just in case there's some like comedy gold before we start going here, you know?
Yeah. Oh man, I'm pumped about this trailer though.
Yeah, if there's other podcasts, I went on, what do you call it? The interwebs, and I saw some other, not even Rocky-related podcasts, not even Stallone-related podcasts. There was like this Batman podcast. A Batman podcast. Did a Creed 2 trailer breakdown, but I haven't listened to any of them because I think you and I will give the definitive breakdown. I think we're the only ones who have that authority.
We have that authority. It's been passed down, and it's the only true authority.
Kyle, why don't you say who you are to the listeners? What episodes have you been on? Can you name them all?
Well, no, not all of them. I was in the final fight for the first movie, and then I can't remember which one I was in for the second movie. And then I did Final Fight, third movie, and then I did the scene in the fourth movie where Apollo's pitching the idea to Rocky. And then I also did an episode where I talked about seeing the first Rocky in the movie theater.
Yeah, I think that was your first episode.
I think there's been some other ones. Yeah, I don't know which one was the first, but that was one of the early ones for sure. I'm guest host Kyle. I randomly show up for episodes. I'm very non-committal.
He's my guy I can call on short notice. In fact, today was like the first day where he gave me a hard no, and I still twisted his nipple a little bit to get him out here, so thank you very much.
My pleasure. You know I can't say no.
You can't say no to the Creed 2 trailer breakdown.
I couldn't give that to Ruben. That'd be an abomination. No offense to Ruben.
Yeah, so Ruben and I will be recording an episode later today, the next sequence of events in the Rocky 4 movie, which I believe is the press conference, but this is like an emergency recording. This is like a hot take, and Ruben was going to be here for this recording, but unfortunately work got in the way, and so tonight's recording had to be sparsed down from its original timing, so I'm like, we got to get this hot take out there. Even though the trailer is going to be out for about a week by the time this episode comes out, I still think it's worth to talk and break down the Creed 2 trailer.
There's a lot in this trailer. To be honest, that first Creed 2 trailer that came out a while back did not get me too excited about seeing Creed 2. I didn't think Creed 2 would be bad, but it's just the trailer was just...
Yeah, this one really got me excited. And I was nervous about a second trailer because sometimes trailers, when they come out, like 1 or 2 or even 3 trailers come out for a movie, they kind of show the same things. Maybe they'll throw in a different scene or something like that. This trailer almost feels like it's coming from a different movie than the first trailer.
Totally. And speaking of trailers, actually, I looked up the trailer, this was a while ago, for the first Rocky. It was the most bizarre trailer I've ever seen. It was a complete synopsis of the movie. It literally spoiled everything. I don't know if like maybe someone made that and made it look like a trailer, but yeah, it was really weird.
For the first movie?
Yeah, it was like the trailer from like the 70s.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're talking about the Rocky movie trailer. The original Rocky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that trailer. No. The greatest fight of his life was not going the distance with Apollo Creed. Spoiler alert. No, just kidding. Not spoiler alert. He just wanted to get the girl.
Imagine if they had that trailer for The Empire Strikes Back. And then you find out Darth Vader is Luke's father.
No kidding. This trailer is getting a lot of good responses. I have yet to see a response that is negative, other than some of those people who don't like Rocky or didn't like the idea of Creed in the first place. I'm just talking about those especially who saw Creed Part 1. This one seems to have more hype than Creed Part 1, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't know. I think a lot of people were skeptical about Creed because it's kind of a spin-off, and that's fine. My wife, for example, she's not anti-Rocky, but is not into it. It's not her thing. I was showing her parts of the Creed 2 trailer, and she was like, oh, that's really cool. So even her, she was like cool with the trailer. Probably because there's like these ripped dudes in it or whatever, but...
Yeah, there's not really any beautiful girls in this trailer. A lot of beautiful men.
Yeah. Pretty good shape.
Oh, they're in incredible shape. What's his name? Michael B. Jordan. Looks fantastic. I think his star has risen just that much further with his portrayal in the Black Panther movie.
Yeah. He's just pretty getting established now.
Is he an A-list actor now?
No, I wouldn't say he's an A-list actor, but he is certainly known now.
Yeah, for sure.
The name obviously helps. Think of like an A. He's like no Brad Pitt or George Clooney or
no Sylvester Stallone
or something like that. No Sylvester Stallone, right?
But he's getting there.
I don't know if Sly was not in this movie if it would work though.
We're going to talk about that because we're going to break down the trailer. And let me just say right now for our listeners, it can't be a spoiler episode because I haven't seen the movie. But let me make it clear, and I think Kyle's on board as well with this. We are going to break down scene by scene as the trailer is being shown to us. So we'll describe what's happening. You can either follow along on YouTube as we talk about it, or you can just envision the trailer in your mind, as everyone listening has probably already seen the trailer. So we are going to break down the trailer. So if you don't want a trailer spoiler, don't listen. Like if you don't want to know anything about Creed 2, because we're going to break down this trailer per sequence of events of the trailer, and we're going to speculate when it's happening in the film and why.
Yeah, I know. I remember seeing a comment on the Facebook or something on one of your pages where someone took offense to you spoiling something, which, no offense to that person, but I pretty strongly disagree with them. It cannot be a spoiler unless you have inside information that's not publicly available. Trailers are, they're meant to hold back, so unless it's that one Rocky trailer, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like if your podcast is just about the trailer, then be forewarned. If for some reason you want to be so pure that you don't want to even look at the trailer, then just stay away.
Okay, so let's do it. We've given our warnings, and we should also warn you that we're probably not giving the best breakdown that other podcasts have given, but this is what you get. Sorry. But other than that, this is what you're going to hear. This is what you're going to listen to.
How dare you, Ryan?
I know.
How dare you say that?
I'm just kidding. So let's start off, Kyle, right away. We've got Adonis running in what looks like a Midwestern state, I would say. There's some shrubbery.
I think he could be in Death Valley area in California. From looking at this trailer in general, it seems to be switching between LA and Philly pretty constantly.
Okay, are we going to talk about that right now, or do you want to talk about the scenes first? Or should we talk about the fact in this trailer we see... Okay, I know, this is already going crazy. In this trailer, we see training that occurs with Rocky and Adonis in the desert, a la the mountains of Rocky 4. He's training natural elements in the outdoors in this scrappy looking ring with sparring partners.
No palatial gym like his dad.
This is like Rocky 4 before his fight with Drago. Now Rocky only had one fight with Drago, of course, but this is him training out in the wilderness in Russia. We now have Adonis trained out in the wilderness of some Midwestern state or some desert state.
It'd be Southwestern state. Midwest would be like Iowa or something. Yeah.
Sure, my bad. Yeah, Arizona. Somewhere. It looks hot. It looks hot and desert-like.
I'm gonna put my money on Southern California.
Oh, sure, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. So
it's kind of near LA where he lives. So
right away, I'm gonna ask this question. We'll talk about the scenes maybe as they come up. There's two training sequences that we see Adonis do. One, he's in the pool. He seems to be in indoor type training scenarios, and then two, outdoor type training. Which one occurs before the second fight? Which one occurs before the first fight?
Okay, I have my opinion on this.
So I do too. Go ahead with yours.
I believe the desert is the second fight.
Yep.
For a couple of reasons. One, usually, because it's obvious he's going to lose the first fight. You're not going to have a fight where he's winning twice.
No.
Especially if it's against Drago. When he's trying to talk Rocky into doing the fight, it's in Philly.
Yep.
And that's where he was training before. I'm guessing he stayed out there to train for the first fight, because he's kind of established there anyways. Then after things go badly in the first fight, I honestly get a lot of Rocky 3 vibes from this movie.
It's a 3 and 4 combined, I think.
I wouldn't say he's getting soft like Rocky was in 3.
Right.
Where he's letting the championship lifestyle get to him, but I think he's going to kind of go out west for the second fight just like Rocky did. And he's going to train in harsh conditions like Rocky did in 4. So you're right, it is kind of a combination between 3 and 4. So that's what I put my money on.
Okay, so let's start. We'll keep that desert / whatever indoor training sequences as we talk about it. We'll talk about as the trailer shows us these things out of order, of course. So he's running down the street right now with some sort of car behind him. I don't know what that car is. It looks like maybe a Camaro type car or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know cars.
Okay, I didn't know if you did. I don't know cars either, so we're both lame men.
Yeah.
That being said, I would assume it's Rocky driving the car.
Yeah. I wonder if Rocky's there for both training and both fights.
I don't think he's there for the first fight, and I have my reasons, and we'll get there. Or unless you want to talk about it now.
No, I'm all right.
Which one?
No, we can keep going.
Okay, so there's that sequence right here where he's sparring with somebody in an outdoor ring.
Yeah, they're just taking body shots on each other.
Rocky's in the ring, calling the shots. So we know that Rocky's definitely in the training sequences for Adonis's most likely rematch.
Yeah.
And then there's an incredible scene where Adonis is hanging, like doing a scene from Roots.
Yeah. This harkens back to a scene from the first film, actually. Michael, the short guy, he takes the medicine ball to Rocky's stomach. And Sly Stallone commented on that was extremely painful and like hurt his body seriously.
So Sly's doing some payback to the man.
This is also my guess. My guess is Drago goes to the body hard in the first fight.
Right.
Because you see later in the trailer him doing these body shots, practicing, and they're very powerful.
Yep.
And then you see Creed training here, and they're really like he's working on the body with the sparring partner. Rocky's trying to toughen his body up with whatever. I don't know if that's a medicine ball or what that.
I think it is. It looks like a medicine ball.
Yeah.
That's a good call, Kyle.
The brutal body shot in the first fight is my prediction.
Okay, good. I like that. We'll stick with that. And then we have a sequence really quick of Adonis shadowboxing over a fire barrel. The fire barrel has made a return to the Rocky series.
It's the same barrel as in the first film.
I think it is. I think it's officially the same barrel that Frank Stallone sang, "Take it back. Do, take it back."
That was his pay for the first movie. He got to keep the barrel.
Yeah. It's a portable heating system.
Yeah.
Already this is a classic scene coming up here at the 15-second mark. Rocky telling Adonis that it's time, kid.
What fight you think that's in?
That's the rematch.
Good. We'll disagree here. I actually think it's the first one.
I'll tell you why it's not. I'll tell you why it's not before you even start. Rocky's dress is the same outfit he wears in the second fight. He's wearing it right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's right. When you face it, yeah, you're right. Okay. Same for like 40 years, but...
It's true, but there's two things here. Two things are going on here, Kyle. We'll see some shots and sequences of Adonis staring down Drago Jr.
Yeah.
Twice. One, we definitely know is the rematch because that's the stare down that Rocky and Drago will have. There's a first one where Rocky is not in the screen or in the shot, which indicates that Rocky wasn't at the
first trailer. Yeah,
that's right. So he's not there for the first fight.
Yeah. Okay. You're right. I'm wrong.
So we'll get to the reasons why later. Again, these are all speculations. I don't have. I like to think people like to think that I have some sort of like inside scoop. I have nothing. This is just nerd talk. That's all this is.
Pure logic, Ryan.
Rocky says, "Kid, it's time," and that's exactly what Mickey said to Rocky, I believe. And was it part 2?
No. Part 1. He might have said it in part 2. But part 1, he's like praying, and he's like he's like on the sink.
That's right.
He's kneeling down, and he's using like the sink to rest. And then like Mickey kind of interrupts him by saying time.
It's a great shot of Sylvester Stallone being blurred out, and then Adonis looks at him, and Rocky comes into focus. Cool shot.
And Adonis does his thing where before a fight, he hits his gloves together twice.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a quirk of his.
I've come a long way with Tessa Thompson. I didn't really like her in the first Creed. I thought she was the weakest part of the movie, quite frankly. I'm hoping I don't find her as annoying in this film as I did in the first one. I hate to say it. I thought it was maybe her acting, but I think it might have been the way she was written and the way she acted, because she was good in the Marvel movies, and I know she's a good actress because I've seen her in other things. I am hopeful because the sequence she has here with Mrs. Bill Cosby looks pretty good. You know, how she's talking about how Adonis is really focused on the fight right now, and I think this sequence right here, I think, takes place before the first fight.
It is clearly before the first fight, because we'll see in the trailer him talking to her about there being a team. There's going to be a story arc about how Adonis's priorities change throughout the fight. I think Adonis right now, it seems, he's really following in the footsteps of his father by being really headstrong, being self-centered, really. So Bianca, I think, is the character name? Yeah. When she's talking to Mrs. Creed, I'm sure Mrs. Creed knows exactly what she's talking about. And so I'm sure there'll be a good scene there when she probably relate how Apollo is the exact same way. And of course, that's kind of what killed Apollo, among other things.
I really hope we have a scene with Stallone and Rashida, what's her name? Mrs. Creed Crosby?
I should know her name, but I don't.
Priscilla?
Yeah.
Priscilla Richard or something like that? I'm terrible. We all know she played Dr. Huxtable's wife. May he rest in peace in jail.
Yeah.
So we have a sequence here now of Adonis looking a little forlorn, introspective as he's standing in the pool. We saw in the first trailer of him doing some training in the water. So this, again, is by himself. There's no Rocky to be seen here on screen, but we assume he's not in the pool.
It harkens back to Rocky 3 a little bit, because that's Rocky's only pool training was in that movie.
Right.
Part of that pool training was really struggling.
Adonis doesn't swim. He just boxes underwater.
Oh, okay. I'm sure that's used by more than just him, but that was a big Muhammad Ali thing, was boxing underwater.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah. The next scene, they have a baby, which you kind of saw in the first trailer, so it's no real surprise.
I don't think they're married. I don't know why, but I don't know if they're married. They could be.
Yeah. They might as well be now that they have a kid. Yeah. You're connected to that person now because you have a child with them. Or at least you ought to be.
Yeah, I agree. They're probably married. We're skipping a little bit ahead here, but this baby, I believe, was born between the loss of the first fight and then before the second fight. I think she was pregnant during the first fight. There's probably some time has passed between the first and second fight. Maybe. It doesn't really matter, but that's my guess. The baby was born after the first fight.
I'm curious if we're going to see, by the way, or I know we're rewinding a bit, but I'm curious if we're going to see how Adonis became champ, even if they just show some clips or something like that, or like beginning of Rocky 3, you see him breeze through the 10 title defenses. I wonder if they'll have something kind of like that.
On the head. That's exactly what I think happens. I think the movie opens with him winning the belt.
Yeah, I'd put money on that.
It's a good little fight. In the first trailer, if everyone goes back and watches the first trailer, there's a sequence where he's all like, kind of all jacked, to kind of like lording over his fallen opponent. And I don't see him doing that over Drago.
You're right. I think that's probably from him becoming champ.
Yeah. So he wins the belt. Now here's what's crazy. There's two fights that we'll see between like two fight arenas. And we're going to get to where I believe the second one's held, and I'll talk to you why I think I know this. Both fights, though, Creed's entourage, Kyle, walks in with the belt.
Oh, I think I can explain this.
Please do.
Okay, I was talking about this in the Facebook comments a bit, so any listeners, this may be repetitive, but I do not think this is for the title at all, and the reason is because I don't think they're in the same weight division.
Right.
Adonis Creed, or Michael B. Jordan, he's probably $175, $180. Like 175 pounds is the max weight for the light heavyweight division, and that's where he was fighting before. And then after that, you go up to, I always screw this up, I believe it's cruiserweight, and that's the 180 to 200. And then after 200, it's just unlimited heavyweight. His opponent in real life is like 235 to 245, and you can see in the trailer he's significantly larger. In real life, they're significantly larger too, right? Like you can do camera angles or whatever, but I looked it up for Michael B. He is about that weight. He's not 200 pounds. Like he's about 6 feet, but he's definitely not in the heavyweight. Now, the reason there was such a huge mismatch between Rocky and Drago is they're both in the heavyweight, but there's no ceiling on the heavyweight weight.
Right.
So, like you can have that big size mismatch, but in this case, you can't. They do have what's called a catchweight fight, and that's where people of two different divisions can fight each other, but you can't take someone's title if you're in a different division than them.
That was my thinking too, because I don't think a Drago Jr., as we'll find out later in the trailer, we'll just talk about it now, he issues a call over social media calling out Creed Jr. saying, I want to fight you, man. Son against son, let's do this.
Yeah. And no one would probably fault him if he said no, right? Who's going to take a fight 2 divisions up from them? Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
Right? This guy probably has nothing to lose. Like, you hear Rocky say he has nothing to lose. Part of it's probably because he's in a way better position. You're not guaranteed to win, but it's like you have a huge advantage.
All right, so now we have Adonis talking to Rocky outside of Philadelphia, asking him, hey, let's, come with me, be in the corner, train me to fight this guy. And Rocky's like, no, you don't need this. I don't support this. I'm not going to back you on this. Your father had the same arrogance, the same bullheaded type behavior, and he died in my arms. Like, can I spell this out for you, Adonis? I don't want to be the guy who doesn't throw in the damn towel.
Yeah, I have some pretty strong opinions about whether Rocky should have thrown in the towel in the first fight or not. But notwithstanding, I think Rocky carries a lot of personal guilt for that.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's probably that bothers him. He talks about that in the first Creed movie. How would he feel if he did it again?
Of course.
And like Michael B was like killed, and he has like a little baby that won't know his dad, just like Creed was.
2 dead fathers because Rocky wouldn't throw the damn towel.
Yeah. Although to be fair, Lou Filippo was the ref for that match, and He doesn't stop fights even if someone's head is like hanging by a string. Like, he doesn't give a damn.
So blame Lou.
Yeah, it's your fault, buddy.
So now we have Rocky describing it, Drago Jr., and I'm not too sure how we know how much Rocky or why he knows as much as he does about Drago Jr., but he knows one thing for sure, that Drago Jr. is the son of Drago Sr. And he says that Drago Jr. was raised in hate. He's dangerous.
Yeah, what does that mean? I do not understand, because you don't know anything. You never hear about Ivan Drago in Rocky V. You don't hear about him in Rocky Balboa or in Creed. For all intents and purposes, this guy disappears. Did he go on to have a career in boxing?
He probably was a disgrace with his people. That's right. So he raised his son, and he raised his son saying, hey, I was someone really special in this country until this guy named the Italian Stallion turned my own country on me. And I was hoping that, in a weird way, maybe in a Cinderella story way, that there'd be some sort of story arc on Ivan Drago that he may have changed too. But I don't think he has. Those stare downs and the way he looks, as we'll see later in the trailer, we'll just talk about it right now. When Drago was looking at his son training, like you said, training on those body shots with a sparring partner, you see this look of like evil pride that Drago has on the killing machine that his son is.
Yeah.
It's great acting by Dolph. Incredible acting. And I even said that in the Rocky IV, Dolph was incredible as Drago with his eyes and his face. His acting without saying anything was actually, it's still acting. You don't have to talk to act.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm just saying, Drago Sr. in this trailer, the look he gives his son in that little moment in that trailer, bravo, man. Dolph I think he's going to bring it to this movie.
I'm assuming we're going to hear him actually speak in this movie, right?
I guess so. We'd have to.
Which is something. But I love how the trailer isn't giving you anything. Like, you're going to have to watch this movie to hear whatever this guy has to say. Part of me also wanted him to change. I didn't actually despise Drago that much in Rocky IV. The only thing bad he did, I think, is being callous about killing Apollo Creed. Saying if he dies, he dies. That's the only thing that, like, even the steroids, it's like that probably wasn't even his choice.
He was doing what he's told.
Yeah, he had one villainous thing, and that's it. But it's not really enough for you to really hate him. Also, you see him get turned on by the Politburo and his trainer guy, not his trainer, but his that PR guy who was with him all the time, and how he picks him up by the neck and stuff, and they saying he's fighting for him. And I could see him hating Rocky, and I could see Drago Jr. hating Rocky. I don't necessarily see the connection for them hating Creed. It's more the other way around, right? It's like, well, you killed Creed.
I got a spoiler. This might be a real spoiler.
Okay.
I won't say the source. People can just believe me because I don't want to put this guy, even though he posted it on his Facebook, and he was there for the filming of a scene that happens in Adrian's diner. So this is something that's not in the trailer. So if you don't want to hear this, mute your ears for about a minute or two. So there is a sequence where Drago Sr. and Drago Jr. come to Adrian's diner to talk to Rocky. In that sequence, I'm not sure.
That would be a cool scene.
It's going to be, it's filmed. It's a fit. Now, whether or not it makes the cut, I don't know. But the person I know is somebody I trust. And he was there for the filming. He didn't hear the dialogue of what was said between the Dragos and Rocky. But the one sequence that he did see and did witness was when Drago Jr. was leaving the restaurant. He turned to look at a picture of Apollo on the wall, looked at it with a kind of a smirk, smug on his face, and goes, "Nice picture," and walked out.
Yeah, that is very interesting.
Do have a vendetta. They are not happy with the Creed and Balboa family.
If you see Creed and Balboa as kind of one entity, yes, you got one up on Creed, but then Rocky got one up on you and basically destroyed your life, that you would see Creed and Rocky as kind of one and the same entity. So, but it looks like they're not separating those two figures.
Not in this situation.
It's not like Drago Jr.'s got to be going in the ring against Rocky's son in Vancouver.
Right. That's right. So we have an entrance here, Kyle. The entrance here is a big fireball blows up behind the Dragos as they're entering the ring, both wearing red. That's the country colors. The fireball on Drago Jr.'s entrance to the ring in such a glorious looking way tells me that this fight takes place in some sort of Russian part of the world.
So Russia.
Yes.
In other words. Better not be on Christmas, though. Better if it's on Christmas, I'm going to walk out of the theater.
If it's on Christmas, I'm going to cheer and cry. Another Rocky Christmas movie.
Yeah, I guess it could be in Russia.
It has to be. Right? If you look at the trailer and you stop, there's sparkles going on his entrance. This is a big fireball. Now, you could argue maybe the States is just being really excited that they have this big match coming in. Because, all UFC guys have their own entrance. I agree. But this seems very home crowdish.
I'm trying to see if there's any Russian writing anywhere in the background.
Somebody on our Facebook group sent us a picture, or not on our group, it might have been another podcast group, so I won't say which one, so I don't want to bury anybody. But this individual on the group that I'm a part of showed props when he was an extra in the movie, in the crowd, and it was Russian VIP passes.
Oh, nice.
There is an entrance sequence that happens later in the trailer where it shows, again, Drago Jr. coming through the curtain, and the two females, if you pause it, the two females looking at him are really happy to see him, really excited. Now, again, you can say, well, maybe because he's a good-looking guy, he's big, but again, they kind of have this look on their face like, this is our guy. This isn't a guy that just destroyed Adonis Creed a few months back. It seems to me like this entrance and the girls that see him walk in with that swagger and confidence, it seems very home crowdy.
One fight for sure is in America because there's like some advertisement in the background that's in English. The second one being in Russia makes sense. That's kind of the natural progression.
So can we talk about Drago Jr. and his little exercise montage? We have a sequence here of Drago Jr. jogging in some run-down, basically Russia-looking area. Broken down building.
I bet you anything they filmed that in Detroit or somewhere.
Well, probably. Probably.
See, the license plate on the vehicle following him is in Cyrillic characters, so it's definitely Russia.
There it is, yeah.
Although,
well, it says it says 94C59PIH.
C is S in Russian, and P is R.
Oh, there you go.
I'm convinced that's Russia, though. You see what kind of area Drago grew up in? He's from the tough neighborhood, has the eye of the tiger, so to speak.
Right.
He's hard.
So we got him jogging. We got him doing this weird flip with his body with the ropes. It's going to be an incredible sequence. So we're going to see some of his training. And I think this sequence here of him training in his motherland of Russia is probably happening concurrently with Adonis' training in the desert.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, they're both training hard. I'm glad Adonis is not going to Russia to train because I think we want these Creed movies to be kind of their own deal. They'll obviously always be connected to Rocky somehow. Creed was in a lot of ways kind of a reboot of Rocky 1, and I think if they did a reboot totally of Rocky 4 here, it would be really cheesy.
Right.
I am glad they're kind of splitting off this way and doing their own thing.
So there's a sequence here where Adonis again is training with not Rocky. He's doing the punching bag, or what do you call it, the gloves? Someone else is wearing gloves. It's a person that we've never met before in the series. And here we go. So if you go to the trail on YouTube, folks, at minute 1, 2, 3, this is fight number 1. And this is where the wardrobe is important, fellas. Drago and his team are wearing blue.
Yeah.
So they're wearing blue, which tells me this is fight number 1. Drago Sr. staring down the person to Adonis' left, and it's not Rocky, a trainer that I've never seen before.
The guy that they met in Philadelphia, they took him to that gym on the north side. Oh,
yeah, isn't that Creed's son in real life? The guy we're talking about is the guy in Creed 1 where he goes to Creed's gym. Adonis goes to Creed's gym.
Oh, yeah. That guy is Apollo Creed's son, which I have a huge problem with. If I'm ever on that episode when you get there eventually.
So that is Apollo's son.
It's totally unbelievable that would be Apollo's son, but I've watched it several times, and yeah, it is.
So it looks like he's in this match with Adonis, that he's the guy next to him. Yeah, it is him.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm 99% sure that's him. Yeah. So that's the stare down.
He finally respects him.
Yeah. Well, sure, he's the champion now. He's the money train now.
Yeah. Yeah, Danny Stuntman Wheeler never recovered from that broken jaw. He just took his payday and went home.
Yeah, if you go to minute 131, this is now match number 2. Because we have...
Yeah. Because
now we have Rocky in the corner. You can see here, the belt is still behind Adonis.
I think the belt is just there for show. Because of the whole weight division thing, I don't think it's a title zone. There really would be no question of whether he'd fight him or not, if he's the ranked contender.
So we know that Adonis loses the fight, because we got a sequence here where he's wearing the black shorts and he's punching the canvas in anger.
Yeah, and then he has blue shorts on for the second fight, the traditional Creed wore and also the shorts Rocky wore, and he beat Drago. We get these scenes where he's hitting the thing with like a sledgehammer. He's hitting the desert with a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
And then you see him kissing the Bianca's stomach because she's pregnant.
Yeah.
And then you see him just going through stuff here and there. Like you see him, he gets in the tub, like the ice water. That's for your muscles after the fight or after a workout.
Knuckles are all beaten up from that first fight, I think. Or is that from training or something else?
I think that's from training. Pretty sure it's from training.
Okay.
With those gloves on, your knuckles wouldn't get like that.
Go to minute 155. I can see if you pause it just right, you can see the white on Adonis' shorts, which tells me he's wearing the trunks again. But look at the symbology behind him in the turnbuckle. That's Russian symbology. Okay,
now there's a word here. It's Tegate. That's not Russian.
Okay.
Unless that's the C or the S. But I'm gonna Google that and see what that is.
I got it.
And see if that's like a certain brand.
It's just to jump to navigation. It's not a real word. It looks like it's a fake company for the movie.
Even if it's not in Russian writing, it doesn't necessarily mean it's not in Russia.
It looks like that Russian eagle type look to it. You know what I mean? It looks, that's Russian colors.
Yeah, it's really European looking. Like it's really common in Europe to have like a bird with both wings stretched out. Like you see that a lot in Germany and Russia and Poland and all these places. Yeah, it definitely doesn't look American though, for sure.
And of course we should talk about the end of the trailer when you kind of hear the hint of the Rocky theme being played.
Oh yeah.
At about the 2-minute mark.
I have it on mute right now.
Oh, I just have this trailer memorized. I know where it happens.
Okay, I want to talk about something real quick.
Yeah, of course.
There's a really random scene in this trailer. It's at about just before the 2-minute mark, 158.
Yeah.
So you see a bunch of kids.
Yep.
What is with that? He's running his restaurant and he's just coming to do this for Creed. Is he like now in full boxing training mode, or like where does this fit into the story? Like to me, it's just really odd.
He loves the kids. These are the kids that jogged with him in Rocky too.
It's more like those are the grandkids of the kids that jogged with him in Rocky too.
Time-space continuum is not an issue in the Rocky series. It looks like a youth group of some sort. You know, they're all just boxing and Rocky's training them and just working with them. It's like a youth program, probably.
Yeah, maybe working with Adonis got Rocky back into fighting, because prior to that, he had just totally disassociated from fighting anymore. Like after his fight with Mason Dixon, it seems like he wasn't training, he wasn't doing anything like that. But when he went back to the gym, people were commenting how they hadn't seen him there forever, and Rocky was talking about how much it had changed. That kind of highlights how much Rocky's changed since training Adonis. He now likes boxing again.
Right. So, Kyle, I'm a little confused here. Go to minute 205.
Okay, of course, the stare down.
Yeah, everyone knows the stare down. We don't have to talk about it. Pretty cool moment, of course. Dolph Lundgren and Stallone in the ring together. No, Drago and Rocky in the ring together. Okay, where was that other shot of the ring that we're talking about? At the 143 mark. The red line is on the bottom, okay.
Okay, 143 is when he's
mad, and he's wearing the black.
Okay, and then there's see white. The ring ropes are white and red. And you see him in minute 143. You see this advertisement for Conotoxia, and then it shows like euros and dollars. It's probably some kind of exchange rate place.
Right.
That would totally be a Russian thing, because they have a very unstable currency and they're always trading for hard currencies. So it's like you never see that in an American boxing ring.
At minute 131 then, that's rematch.
Yeah, of course. But then you see look at 131. Look at the ring rope right behind Rocky. It's the same advertisement as minute 143. Conotoxia. So I think 131 and 143 are both the Russia fight.
So 153, he's wearing red though. What entrance is that?
Yeah, those are definitely Russian babes in that 153.
Yeah, you see how they're looking at him?
Yeah. Okay. That's definitely the ring, because I just saw a couple clips. It's the same advertisements on that ring. I'm on minute 153, but if you just look at the few seconds after that, if you look at the text on the ring ropes and stuff, it's all the same stuff. It looks like most of what it's showing you is the Russia fight.
Oh, Kyle, you know what? I stand corrected on something, and people are going to probably already call me out on it. Kyle, I screwed up. There might just be the one fight. Or have you found two different rings, or am I overthinking this?
No, I've not found two different rings. They all look the same.
Because, Kyle, I talked about this, how Drago and his team were wearing blue.
Yeah.
It's the weigh-in. At 1:23 is the weigh-in.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. I just found it's proven to be in Russia too. Minute 2:17.
Stand by. Okay, but let me just say for our listeners, when I mentioned earlier that Drago was wearing blue and that was the first fight, I'm now going on the record for saying, correction to my last, that's the weigh-in. Rocky's still not there because he doesn't support this. We may not have any footage of Adonis losing that first fight, other than him punching the mat. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, they just might not be in the trailer because it's not convenient.
However, at 2:17, Kyle, look at him holding his ribs there. You talked about the body shots that he was taking?
Yeah, that's in Russia for sure, 2:17. If you look at 2:17,
yeah,
you see in the background where it says Drago versus Creed? That's Drago in Russian.
Oh, good catch. And if you look really closely, Kyle, look who's to the right of Adonis there on the floor.
Oh, is that Rocky? I can't tell.
That's Rocky, yeah. So the question is, Kyle, do we have any footage here in this trailer of the loss, or does he even lose the fight? Is there 2 fights? Now I don't know anymore. I thought I had this all figured out.
There's 2 fights. At the very end of the trailer, Rocky says to him, well, now you know what you're fighting for.
Right, that's fair.
And I kind of assumed at least it meant you didn't know before what you were fighting for. Now, he could possibly be just saying how he made a transition during his training for this one fight.
No, but I think there is 2 fights, because we had in the first trailer when Creed was in the hospital beaten to crap.
Yeah, it is possible. Both fights are in Russia. Unlikely, though. I just think all the ring shots are for the Russia fight.
Or the ring setup is just the same ring in both fights, and they thought nobody would notice. Because there's that sequence I told you at where we could see Adonis' shorts were white on top, so who knows? That's great. That's, you know what? At the end of this discussion, Kyle, we still aren't too sure, and that's why this trailer doesn't give away too much. We don't know quite the sequence of events, how it's going to happen, how it's going to play out, why do things happen the way they do. We do know that Rocky's son has a role in this movie because Milo, whatever his name is credited in the film. So I think it's during the first fight that Adonis loses that Rocky's in Vancouver, British Columbia, visiting his son and his grandchild. And they're watching the fight on TV, and that's where they see Adonis lose. And then Rocky comes back and visits him in the hospital and says, hey, let's work together on the rematch.
Yeah. Obviously, the trailer's left much to your imagination as the viewer. I hate seeing movies opening night, but I am almost certainly going to see this one opening.
I am buying tickets opening night, absolutely. The moment advance tickets go on sale, I'm buying opening night, and Ruben and I are going to do a live review. We'll record it live. Not live, but like right after, while it's fresh in our minds.
You might have to go into some credit card debt for this, but just buy the theater out and then just record the podcast in the theater while watching the movie.
Yeah, I don't think Becky's going to go for that.
Plan B is you could just record it while people are there and just...
Yeah, can you imagine? I'll tell everyone in the theater, look, we're doing an important podcast recording here, guys. Like, we got to comment about as the movie goes along. Can you imagine that?
Maybe there's one person in that theater who'd be one of your listeners, though.
Highly unlikely, but though possible. Well, Kyle, at the end of this, I thought I'd have this trailer cracked a little bit more. I think we got some good nuggets out of it. I think we got some speculation that may end up being true. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. We're going to see this thing opening night.
It's going to be good.
Anything else you want to close with?
Ding, ding.
Good man. Saving. All right. Well, there you go, Kyle. That's awesome. Thanks for the discussion, man.
Oh.
It's all done. We're good. You still there? Okay. Oh, you still there?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm there.
All right. Hey, man, thanks for the discussion. I don't know if we saw any real footage from the loss yet, so we'll see. We'll see. That's great, though. Maybe they left that out. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's what happened. But it's cool that he's fighting in Russia, though.
Yeah, he's definitely fighting in Russia. How he gets there and why Rocky allows it, we'll never know. We're going to have to watch the movie, I guess, to find out.
Well, do you think people will start be like, Creed, at the end of the fight?
Creed. Maybe.
All right, cool. Well,
All right, man.
have a good night, man.
You too. We'll talk to you later. Thanks, Kyle, again.
All right, no
Bye.
problem. Bye.